start the whole thing. So
Okay.
stand by for 5 seconds. Hello, all. My name is Jim Baca, and I'm here today with Maria Monteskolnik, Stephen Ernest, Peter Comis, and George Pomonis. We represent Voces de Santa Fe and its ongoing Oral Histories project. Voces is in its 14th year with over 2,600 members worldwide, all of whom have direct ties to Santa Fe and New Mexico. This interview will be recorded for archiving purposes. Today, we will be visiting with George Pomonis and speaking with him about his youth experiences as a Greek boy growing up in Santa Fe. George was born in 1932 in Santa Fe and attended Santa Fe schools through high school before going on to college. George is from a prominent Greek family who owned and operated the Mayflower Cafe on the plaza. George worked summers there for many years. Our interview will be conducted over 4 segments. Stephen will discuss early days, childhood, and schools. Jim will interview George about some high school classmates who inspired the characters in the movie that was filmed in Santa Fe, Red Sky at Morning. Maria will talk to George about the Mayflower Cafe, which was the family restaurant. Peter will close with a discussion about the old country and the family's migration to the U.S. and original Greek families and merchants of Santa Fe. So I'm going to start the slideshow here. Can everyone see the first slide?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw the first slide, yes.
Okay. We have some background noise.
It might be on Peter's end.
Peter?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
you're
Stephen,
gonna have to speak loudly and slowly and clearly because I'm very, very hard to hear.
Okay.
Okay. So, Stephen, go ahead.
Okay. Well, here we are.
Yeah. Hi, Stephen.
How you doing, George? Glad to hear from you again, and a happy birthday, my friend.
Hey, same to you. Same to you. Same birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, the same.
One of the things I wanted to start with right today with you, George, was I remember seeing you at the photograph of your house off of Manhattan, your first house in Santa Fe. And do you remember very much about that house?
Yeah, I do. It was on
It's where
College
Roundhouse
Street,
is now.
or the first one that my parents had was on at the as an apartment in the Stab Hotel, the Stab Building on at La Posada.
Oh,
And then now I'm seeing some pictures here. What you're seeing here on the right side of 5 cameras is a house on College Street, right across the street from St. Mike's. And
oh, okay.
the roundhouse sits where those houses are right now.
I
Can you
see.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when did you move to Santa Fe Avenue? When did you move to that house?
We moved to Santa Fe Avenue in 1937.
Ah,
1938, excuse me, 1938. And
and so you weren't even in school yet.
we lived there until 1950 when I went off to school. And my parents sold the house and moved to Don Fernando while I was away.
I see. So you went to Wood Gormley then. You were walking distance to Wood Gormley then, right? And to Harrington. I'm getting some feedback.
I
Peter?
think it's on Peter's
Hey,
end.
Peter, somebody wake
Got
Peter
a
up.
lot of.
I'm nodding off. I can hear you guys.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
there seems to be somebody talking in the background there. Peter?
Is that on your end,
Sorry,
Peter?
let me yeah. Let me just step away.
Okay.
I'm
Hello?
in my yard. I'll step away over here. Maybe, or it might be easier if I put on my ear pods. Maybe the ear pods would work better.
That's better.
Yeah,
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
yeah, I could hear, but I could hear a lot of background dialogue there from somebody.
Okay, well, I think we've got it cleaned up now.
Okay. You want to start all over, Stephen?
Well, yeah, and the other part of it was where I was before this all came out was your experiences at Wood Gourmet. Do you remember any of your teachers from back in those days? Any of those experiences?
Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. And one of the saddest parts was when I was in third grade. My third grade teacher was a new teacher from Texas, and she had the classroom segregated. The white people and the Spanish people were separated, and I, as a Greek, was put in with the Hispanics, and that was fine. I didn't care. But one day at recess, the kids from the other side of the room asked me. They were playing tag. Asked me if I wanted to play with them, and when I did, I said yes. Started to play with them. The teacher came out of the classroom, grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me and said, "You can't play with those kids. Don't you ever do it again."
Oh man,
Wow.
And so after that, I never did play with those kids. And after that, my place was with Hispanics in town, and
yeah.
not with the professionals or any of the others. So
What grade was that, George? What grade was that?
third grade.
No kidding.
Great. Some of you guys might have had that teacher went on to junior high and high school with me.
Really?
And many of you might have had her as a teacher at Santa Fe.
What was her
High.
name? What was her name?
Mildred Daniels.
No, never heard of her.
Okay, she probably retired.
Yeah. Well, I'm only 10 years behind you, George. So I was that's why I was wondering, because you and I were pretty close there. Do you remember for instance, the high school, I mean the principals, the name of the principal at Harrington, for instance? Do you remember that?
Yes. Nellie Lincoln was her name at Harrington.
And that was the principal?
And I really liked her. Yeah, she was
I see.
Yeah. And Mr. Wilson was a principal at Santa Fe High School when I was there.
I see. I don't remember those. Now, when you were at Harrington, did you do things like, did you play in the band? Were you in the band like with Mr. Garrison?
Yeah, I played in the band in junior high under Pablo Maris, and then in high school with under Bennett Shacklett.
Oh, that's interesting. Because
Yeah.
he was that band guy that had all the lights and stuff, right? That was Shacklett.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he tried to recruit me when I was in junior high at Harrington. He tried to recruit me, and I was in my cowboy phase at that time, and I decided not to do that. But yeah, that's interesting that you were under Mr. Shacklett. He was a tough guy, right?
yeah, he was tough. He's a veteran of the Baton Death March.
Yeah.
In the 1940s.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad at least we have some sort of a connection there, George. Now, did you do sports at all? Did you do sports at Harrington?
I was on the football team for a couple of years, but I was a sub, so I didn't get to play much. But
I see.
Mr. Powell was a coach.
I
And
see.
Calvin Capshaw and uh, Trudell
Oh, yeah.
were the coaches.
I remember both of those. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Capshaw and Mr. Trudell. Mr. Trudell, he was the truant officer when I was in high school. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, it
And
sounds like we all had some pretty similar experiences growing up in that neighborhood and stuff. Now, and how wide was was your neighborhood there? I mean, I remember. Do you remember like skiing, sledding down Gildersleeve when we had a lot of snow and that kind of stuff?
yeah, we our winters were really pretty good. I think we used to have snow in them
Yeah.
mostly through December and January, and we used to sled on Gildersleeve and get up at the top of Gildersleeve and slide down all the way to Harrington Junior High.
Into the
And
into the playground, right?
yep, and there was no playground.
Yeah.
It's all hard rock and gravel.
Yeah. That's how I remember it too.
That's what we used to play tackle football. But anyway,
Yeah.
we I there was a tennis court on the corner of Weber and the Buena Vista, and
Yeah.
that's where I taught Ike Kalanges how to play tennis.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great
that was
story
a long,
about that. Actually. Yeah.
long time ago. But we had, I remember Della's, yeah, it's called Wimpy's. And she used to serve little hamburgers about the size of $half for 5
Yeah, I was going
cents.
to ask you. I was going to ask you about Dallas because I had some interesting stories about Dallas too. Yeah.
Yeah, she had, she also made cinnamon toothpicks.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Oh,
we
yeah.
sold
I remember those.
sold them for a penny each.
Yeah.
And oh, what else? So we had one basketball backboard on the playground between Woods and Gormley.
Right.
And yeah, I remember a lot of my teachers. My second grade teacher was Miss Swingle. My first kindergarten and first grade were at St. Mike's. And
Oh.
my mother took me out of there and sent me to the public school because, quote, unquote, the brothers were teaching me to sign myself the wrong way.
Hey, George, let me ask you this. Do you remember the greenhouses that were in back of the St. Mike's? Do you remember, were those there when you were a kid?
The cemetery?
Greenhouses. There used to be greenhouses in the back of in that back of St. Mike's there off of Manhattan and where in the back.
Was it inside the wall or outside the wall?
Yeah, they were inside the wall.
Oh, they came, they must have come later. Because all that was just place. Do you remember the cemetery on the other side of the wall at St. Michael's?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we used to walk through there on the way to church on Sunday at the Episcopal church.
No kidding.
And I remember grave markers dating into the 1500s, like 1545 sticks in my mind.
Wow.
So, that was really old stuff. I don't know whatever they did with it when did they remove the bodies and the grave markers?
I think so. Yes, I think they
did.
Yeah, they reclaimed those. I think, didn't they, Jim?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah. And I remember I mentioned this before, but on College Street, when we lived on College Street,
yeah,
our house there was where the roundhouse is now. And we were right next door to Mighty Nice Creamery. And you can see that in the slide there where I'm standing with my mother and my cousin by a car and the house in the background. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
I could always remember, I think once a week or something was a train of burros bearing wood, firewood would come down the street.
Yeah.
And, it was just like the old days. That stuck. I don't know. I was really impressed with that as a kid.
Yeah.
I also remember, during World War II, we had no bicycles. No one could buy a bicycle. They just weren't made. And so we walked everywhere.
Yeah.
And we used to play marbles. We also played keeper marbles.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
But we'd
Did
play.
did you guys ever hike up Arroyo Tenorio up there? Did you guys ever do that?
Do what?
Hike up Arroyo Tenorio, the arroyo that runs right there into the school. We used to we used to hike up that thing and get in trouble.
No, no. We also spun tops, little wooden tops, and we'd play those, shoot them like you did marbles, and you did
Oh, yeah.
set some tops in the ring,
Yeah.
and then try to knock them out.
Yeah.
We played a lot of kick the can and hide and seek, and in our neighborhood on Santa Fe Avenue, in Weber and around there on College Street, I remember playing football in the street with the Curies and the Goodwins and the Liggets and the
Oh, yeah.
Romeros and Curies. And also, I remember at night in the summertime in my bedroom with the window open, looking out the window at the moon and the poplar trees, College Street. Some young men would get together and sing, bring their guitars and sing.
Wow.
No kidding.
So yeah, it was really a romantic thing in me, in my own mind in those days. Later on, I learned to trout fish, fly fish. I did a lot of that in my junior high, well, not junior high, but high school years. We used to go up to the Pecos box,
Oh, yeah.
catch our limit before we went too far into the box.
Yeah. That actually might be a good transition there for me to send this off to the next group, our next moderator here, Georgia. You said it sounded like an idyllic sort of childhood, even with the problems of having to be sitting in the brown section of their third grade. I thought that was a horrible situation, but it sounded like you had a great childhood memories about that place. Very good, very sweet.
Yeah.
I'll pass that to him.
George?
Yes.
One of my favorite movies is Red Sky at Morning.
Yes.
It's a beloved movie for many Santa Feans, because it was filmed in and around Santa Fe.
Okay.
And I understand that you have an idea on real life people that the characters were based on.
Yes. I don't know. Have you read the book?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I never did see the movie. I
Oh,
guess I probably try to get it on one of the streaming sites. But anyway, well, in the book there was a guy that the young boy, the main character, came into Santa Fe from the south,
mm-hmm.
and he befriended a son of a doctor, an MD.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was the only Greek boy other than Nike in Santa Fe in those years. And so that wasn't me, because as I mentioned earlier, I only hung around with the Hispanics. But anyway, the Greek boy, there was a Greek boy that came into Santa Fe. He was the son of a dentist who was in the Navy, and the dentist brought the son and his wife to Santa Fe to live there. And they lived there for a couple of years. And they were good friends with some of the professional kids in Santa Fe. So that might have been the Greek boy that was being referred to in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book, you hear mentioned a kid named Chongo.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Chongo was a good friend of mine. His name was Ernesto Delgado, older brother to Edmundo. Anyway, and there was a jock named Bucky Brandenburg. In the book, you see Bucky Swenson, I think is the guy's name. And also down the street from us on Santa Fe Avenue, there was a couple of twin girls. Now, all of these kids were about 3 years older than I was. But anyway, the twins and their family moved out suddenly when they. So I think that was in the book. I think that's the one that Bucky Swenson impregnated. Anyway, anyway, there was also Bucky Swenson was a character in the book, and Bucky Brandenburg was the jock in Santa Fe. He was pretty famous. Then let's see, they talked about Tarzan. Tarzan, I knew Tarzan, a guy named Tarzan too. And then he mentions a son of a wildlife biologist whose name was Parker Holmes in the book. And I knew a son of a wildlife biologist in Santa Fe High School whose name was Homer Pickens, Parker Holmes, Homer Pickens. So, all of these names kind of struck a note with me. I never went to the dump site to play in dead horse.
That was the funniest scene in the whole movie, for sure. So I'm going to turn it over to Maria now, George, and she's going to talk with you a bit as well.
Sure.
But real briefly, I was just going to ask George a question before you change the subject. Was there also a character, because he was in the movie, but do you remember a Pachuco named Lindo Velarde? There was Lindo Velarde in the movie, and he was just, I swear, when I was a little boy and I saw that movie, I was just terrified by this guy.
Yeah.
And I saw it as an adult with my wife maybe 10 years ago. They had a special showing at the Lenzic Theater, and I was still terrified of this Pachuco.
But you know that
Was he real? Was he real?
No, I know there were Pachucos, but no, I didn't know him. The Pachucos usually used to come down from Espanola or Truchas or Cerrillos or wherever, they. Santa Fe. But no, I didn't know any that guy. That I don't think that character was in the book either.
Maria?
Okay.
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
Yeah. I'm so happy to talk to you about the Mayflower, because I think when we all first started meeting 14 years ago through Voces here on Facebook, it was those iconic photos that we're showing on the screen right now, mostly from the 1940s, plaza with the Mayflower in the center of those photographs. And, we fell in love with those photos and sharing those memories with you. And I wanted to start off in discussing about the Mayflower by talking about your dad, because your dad and his brother were central to that restaurant. And I read a little thing recently with Adelina making a comment, Adelina Artista Hill, one of our important people in Voces, who she shared special memories when she was a high school kid of going into the Mayflower And your dad, she described your dad as being wearing a suit, being so distinguished, and greeting the guests as they came into the restaurant, and he would take them to their table. And she said she always loved going into the Mayflower. So I wanted our audience to know a little bit about your dad that you shared with us in a biography that you sent us. His name was Tom Pomonis, and he and his brother, and I don't know his brother's name, your uncle. What was his name?
My uncle's name was Peter.
Oh, was Pete? Okay.
Actually, in Greek, it was Panayotis, which isn't Peter, but when they immigrate into the country, they change their names to sound like their Greek name. So.
I see. Yeah. So your dad and his brother Pete immigrated to the United States in 1913 from Greece.
Right.
And I sort of imagine they came from some little village in Greece. And I'm curious, have you ever had an opportunity to go to Greece to see where both your mom and dad were born and raised?
Oh, yes, very much so. I spent a year's research sabbatical in Greece at the National Research Institute, Demokritos. Anyway, we did visit my parents' island. And
I see.
Yeah, and there's the main city, the main port is called Zakynthos also. And my mother's home was there. We visited her neighborhood. In fact, we ran into a couple of older ladies that knew my mother. So we had a conversation with them.
Well, I mean, I think we would all love to be there. So Greece is so beautiful. And I just wanted to say a little bit about your dad here, that when he and his brother came, to picture him as this elegant man at the Mayflower, but to know what he had to go through when he first came to this country. He and his brother worked at meatpacking houses in Kansas City, and they laid track railroads in northern Wyoming. And then your dad went back to Greece and fought against the Turks in the Balkan Wars, and later volunteered in the U.S. Army and went to France during World War I. And I was wondering two things about that. When your brother and your dad came, did they come to the United States knowing other Greek people and meeting up with them, or did they just come on their own and venture on their...
As I understand it, and this is only secondhand, but the Greek community, both in New York and Chicago, was pretty big at that time, and so they had contact as Greeks in the community in those two cities when they arrived, and they found work in Kansas City as meat packers in the slaughterhouses. Then they worked on the railroad for a little bit, and then they went to Wyoming to work in the mines there. And in the 1920s, the mid 1920s, my uncle and another Greek opened a restaurant or a candy house, I guess, in Grand Junction, Colorado, and then moved to Denver. And they had a restaurant there. My dad, when he got back from his service, military service in Greece, joined them in the restaurant in Denver. It was called the Liberty Cafe, and they moved to Santa Fe in 1931. Yeah. And
what you have in your story, your biography that you shared with us, is one of the reasons they came to Santa Fe was because it reminded them of Greece, and also because the I guess depression hadn't hit as hard in Santa Fe yet when they came.
Right. I think Santa Fe was too poor to be affected by that.
How do you think that Santa Fe reminded them of the old country?
Well, I think Santa Fe is unique in that it's, you have a plaza, and some of the larger cities have several plazas where all the roads meet at the plaza. And also the mountains and uh, well, just the atmosphere and the plants and everything else just reminded them of Greece.
Yeah.
The housing was pretty much, you know, uh, even though in Greece they made their houses out of stone instead of adobe, but they were all shaped pretty much the same. So it was all. I think it was just such a similarity between Greece
Yeah.
and Santa Fe. So that was it.
I mean, they're both beautiful places. I've been to Greece, and it's just so beautiful. Let me ask you about the Mayflower. How did the name the Mayflower? Why did they name it the Mayflower?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you by any chance know who their landlord? Because they leased the building, right?
Yeah, the houses in Greece were made out of stone. There's a
Oh,
lot of
no, I meant
stone. Yeah, they.
what I meant was the
What's that?
Mayflower itself. When they opened the restaurant, they leased it.
Yeah,
Do
they
you know
leased
who?
it. They leased it from. I'm trying to remember his name. Uh, he was.
Spitz.
I don't know whether he was Syrian or Arab, but
Was
he
it
was a Greek.
Solomon Greer?
Greer, not Greer. No, no, it was it Moore
Bernard Spitz.
Goodman? Anyway, I can't. Oh, Richards was his last name. Richards.
Oh, no, I don't know that.
Okay.
Louis Richards. Yeah.
Louis Richards. Yes, yes, I know the name. Yes.
Okay. Louis owned the Plaza Hotel, and if you look at the sign, the Mayflower Cafe sign down there, right above it, you'll see Plaza Hotel. The hotel lobby was right next door to the restaurant, and all those windows there were the rooms in the hotel. It was really, I would call it a Class C or D hotel.
A couple of questions about employees that I read somewhere else that people names that one name in particular that people would recognize was your accountant was Ray Arias, who owned El Nido for many years.
Yeah. Ray Arias was our accountant at the
Yeah.
restaurant for many, many years. He did the taxes and he did everything else for us.
And I also read somewhere that the Mayflower took one of the good cooks from La Fonda, hired one of their cooks.
Yeah. Louis Ed Dunaway was a chef at La Fonda. And when Angelo came into partnership with my dad in 1946, they hired Ed Dunaway away from La Fonda, and he came to the restaurant, and I loved his cooking, and he always had a varied menu for lunch and supper. I used to watch him. He was not only the chef and the cook for the main dishes, but he also cut the meats, he butchered the meats. We'd get half beef delivered and stored in a big refrigerator, and he would cut that up for steaks and hamburger and so on and so forth
Well,
for his
Wow.
menus. So
So-
Ed had good menu. He really did have a good menu, and it was.
So what kind of food did the Mayflower serve?
What's that?
What kind of food did the Mayflower serve?
Just regular food. We had the regular like hamburger and cold beef and hot beef sandwiches, and hot pork, hot turkey sandwiches. I had chicken fried steaks, veal cutlets, and that kind of stuff. But every day at noon, he would have at least two and sometimes three hot meals like spare ribs and sauerkraut, or short ribs and baked beans, or turkey croquettes or salmon croquettes uh, with vegetables. And sometimes he'd have, oh God, I don't know. There were so many, and it was also good. It was really good food.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get that in you don't get that in a restaurant anymore.
It sounds delicious, and the local people here must have really, really loved it. How much for a cup of coffee?
Yeah. Say that again, Maria.
How much would you pay for a cup of coffee?
Nickel.
Jeez.
I was gonna guess about a nickel. So I want to sort of in closing here, you worked there starting at age 12. So from 1944 to 1953, you worked there. So you must have worked there starting at 12, so through your teenage years, and maybe even after you graduated from high school.
Yeah.
Because you graduated in 1950, so your bio says 1953. So can you share with us your memories, your perspective of what the plaza was like and what you observed? There was one photo that you posted some time ago of the first fiesta after the war. It was a colored photo. I forget what year it was. It must have been like 1946. And you said the people were so happy because the war was over and it was fiesta. And anyhow, so share some of your highlights of your memories as a boy working at the Mayflower.
Okay. Well, I did everything I learned to do everything in the restaurant. I scrubbed pans, I washed dishes, I bussed dishes, I waited to the counter. I also learned to fry cook. So that was it. I didn't. Oh, I, I earned $10 a week.
Wow.
All my friends were working for the highway department and were earning $300 or $400 a month working for the highway department, and I really resented that.
For good reason.
So anyway, but my mom would say, "Well, be thankful. It's one of these days. It's all going to be yours." Well, anyway, uh, uh, the, yes, people were so happy after the war was ended. In fact, when Japan surrendered, every business in downtown Santa Fe closed down.
Wow.
People were dancing in the streets, and it was just great. And by 1946, a lot of the veterans had been discharged and had come back to Santa Fe, to home, and was starting their lives anew, either going to school under the GI or whatever. And this was in the 40s, the late 40s and 50s. I worked in the restaurant from into 1952 and 53. And in 1953, my dad sold his half of the restaurant to Angelo Evangelos, and opened up a liquor store on Cerrillos Road. That liquor store used to get held up at least once a year. And one night, my dad had an old Greek fellow working for him. Andrea was his name, and he had to set up a stove and a bed there for him and a sink and all of that. And the old man slept in the store. Well, one day somebody came in to rob the store, and the old man got tired of it, pulled out his revolver, and had it out with the robber, and they were shooting at each other, and the old man got hit in the face with a bullet.
Wow.
And was killed. And I remember going to I just had gotten home from college, and I remember going to the scene. It was really, well, it wasn't a pleasant scene. Anyway, they caught the
No.
guy at the border, I think a couple of days later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
anyway, my dad eventually sold the liquor store. It was right across the street from St. Mike's College.
oh,
And that was way out in the boondoggies.
Yeah,
You know?
the boonies.
Yeah.
huh.
It was weird. Uh,
Well, you know, when I first met you back in 2010, my dad was still alive, and I remember there were certain memories of the plaza that you both remember, and one was like a pool hall that was there on the plaza,
yeah,
and so you shared some memories that my dad had, and I just always super appreciate that. And in closing here, I'm so grateful that your dad and your mom, who came from these little villages in Greece,
uh-huh,
ended up in Santa Fe, and you were born here in Santa Fe, where I am right now. And
right.
we just are so grateful for it all, George. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
hand it over to Peter Comas now.
All right. Thank you, Maria.
All right.
George,
Yes, yes,
Pikanis, George. Timukanis, Yorgo, how
yes.
are you? I got to tell you, George, you almost brought me to tears when you were talking about the cold beef sandwich and everything that was on the menu because, you know, my parents had a restaurant and you were
Yeah,
talking about the meat cutter. He knew how to cut meat. And that was my dad. And you and I grew up in the same town. We have the same memories almost. Like my memories are very similar to your memories. And it's just so honored that I got to meet you with my mother
yeah.
at La Chosa
Hello.
before she passed away. Now, tell me a little bit.
I'm losing you.
How did you meet my parents?
I'm
Can you
losing you.
hear me?
Uh, yeah, okay, go ahead. No,
Hello?
I lost you again. Hello?
Peter, you're frozen. Can you hear me now?
We can
Yeah.
hear you.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can't see you. I see you're on your iPhone. There you go. All right.
Okay. All right. There's a picture of you, and I think uh, we can put it up on the screen, maybe.
It is.
Maria, I don't know if you can put up the
Yeah,
screen.
it's on
There's
the
a
screen.
picture of you.
It's on
Oh,
the.
it is?
It is on the screen right
Okay.
now. It's the upper left.
Right.
Oh, there it is. And there you are. You're doing the rings or something.
Yeah.
At my parent, you're doing part of the ring ceremony, and there's my father and my mother, and to the very left is your mom. What was your mom's first name? Eleni, right?
Eleni, yeah. Helen, yeah. Eleni.
And what was her maiden name?
Her maiden name was Vore.
How did you spell that for me?
Vorres.
Vores. Okay, yeah, I see. And they were from she was from Zakynthos. Now, where was your father from?
From the same island, but for a little village they called Tragaiki, little goat.
Okay. I want to. There's some pictures that Maria is going to try to share with you because I can't do it from my end. I know, I don't know, but if you can just show up some pictures. But anyway, I've got to tell you something. I knew you were from this island because you told me the last time we spoke,
Yeah.
and you know, I'm not in Santa Fe right now. I got to tell you, I'm not in Santa Fe.
Where are
You
you?
want me to tell you? You want to guess where I'm at? You
كيف
probably will
هلا
never guess.
كيف هلا
When God, when
yeah
God
كيف
made Greece.
هلا
No, I'm not in Kefalonia right now either. It says when
you're
God made
in
Greece, he was showing off.
Adelaide.
When God made Greece, he was showing off, my shirt says. So here I am. I'm sitting at a table with my computer. And do you see the sea?
Yes.
And
Where are
I'm in
you
a
at?
town. I'm in a town in Zakynthos called Tragaiki. I'm in your hometown.
Oh
Your
my.
father's hometown of Tragaiki.
Oh,
I
yes.
came here so I could do the interview with you.
Oh, my. Bless your heart. Oh.
I wish I could see your
Oh.
I wish I could see your picture right now, George, to get your reaction. But I got to tell you, I went up into the town today, and uh, I drove up, and I was the only person there. I think everyone was asleep because they were taking their
Yes, I
afternoon
think so too.
siesta.
That
And
happens all the
there was a
time.
mailbox that said Pomoni. There was a
Yes.
Pomonis family. I found their mailbox, and I took a picture. And I took a picture of all the signs that said Tragaiki in Greek and in English.
Uh-huh.
And Maria can send those to you if you'd like, with from her phone to your phone. If you have George's number, you can just share
Yeah,
those with George,
I
and he
will.
can see them. Um, so I got to tell you, how did you meet my parents? How did that come to
Well,
be? And
Pete, when the Greeks were pretty tight in Santa Fe, they 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 all gathered together. I remember having many parties where the Greeks would get together and dance, and all the bachelors and all the married people. Well, and when a new man came into town for business, they'd all help him out in some way or another. And
uh-huh.
I know that John, your Caravas or Caravan, your dad had come to Santa Fe, was opened up a business on Lower San Francisco Street there, the Burro Alley Cafe, and we were all close families together, and they decided that I could be the cumbaros, the best man at the wedding, and did the ring ceremony with that. So, but we knew John from the time that he opened up the restaurant, and and your dad went back to Kefalonia and married Lemonia.
When did it become the ship ahoy? Well, that's not. He didn't marry her in Kefalonia. He married her in Albuquerque.
Yeah, well, I don't remember it becoming a ship Ahoy in my time there. It was always
Yeah, Lemonia immigrated to the United States. Her two sisters, Lela and Pulia, lived in Albuquerque, and they sent $500 to Greece to bring Lemonia. They
oh
found a husband for her, and
yeah,
he
okay.
was a very nice man, my mother said, but he was a little too old for her, and itine kodulis, he was too short. And my mother was 5'3" you see.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
then Tonitele, she didn't want to marry him. And they had the big dinner at the Proxonio, and everybody and he said, she's out of my league. She really is. And he bowed out graciously,
yeah.
and my mother said, to heck with it, I'm going back to Greece. And he says, no, 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 no. There's a man, and he's from Kefalonia, which is a little bit that way right now. Probably in the daytime you can see him. He's from Kefalonia. And
Uh,
that's why I'm half crazy. Okay. Nick from Evangelos, both of his parents are from Kefalonia. That's why he's 100% crazy, but I'm only 50%. We tease Nick like that. We love Nick so much. Nick Clonis, he's a great, great guy. But yeah. So you were the cubaro, and your mama was the cubara. She was the maid of honor.
right, right. Well, can you hold on a second? My diuretic is really hitting me. I'll be right back.
No worries.
Sure.
Great scenery there, Peter.
Yeah,
That's so cool. That is so cool.
that's
the best thing
wonderful,
we've ever.
Pete.
No, I wanted him to see his hometown, and it's up on the hill. I don't know if I could show you that here because I had to drive down a bit, but they said no, this is the beach of Tragaiki here. This is where the people of Tragaiki come. Can you still hear me, even though I moved away from the
Yes.
Yeah, you're fine.
way?
Uh-oh, not now.
And the house is up there too.
Oh, yeah.
Can't see. I can see you, Jim, but I can't see Pete.
Oh, I see. Yes.
You see the ocean,
Oh, there.
right?
There,
Right.
beautiful.
Wow.
Really cool.
And the moon should be coming up on this side. I think it's going to be full tonight.
Beautiful.
Wow. How long are you going to be in Greece, Peter?
I'm going to be here until October 22nd. Nights off. And came myself, my wife, and my son. My son goes to
We lost you, Pete.
You're not there, Pete.
uh-oh. Hello?
Can hear
Am I
you.
here?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
I think part of the problem is your movement.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
There
I'm
you
back.
Okay.
Sorry.
See
No,
me?
no worries.
Okay, what was that
I
again?
can see myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can.
yeah,
Can you see me now?
Yes. A little.
yes, yes, I can see you.
Okay, good. So I got to tell you, the people here in Zakynthos and we're very
Here-
hospitable,
here-
and I'm having a wonderful time.
There's a, I know there's a new resort in Zakynthos. They owned by the Pomonises, some Pomonis, I don't know which one, but it's not too far from the Hora, from Zakynthos. I don't know if you've been there or not. Pete?
I just arrived yesterday, actually,
Okay,
and I went to pick up my rental car, but I made a mistake. I rented the car for September 17, not August. So I didn't have a car, so I took a taxi to Amudia. What's it? Amudia, is it? Or I can't remember. It's a Amudi. I took a taxi to Amudi, and I rented a car there and came to Tragaki last night. And unfortunately, we couldn't hear you, but we could see you.
I'm trying to remember, when I visited the Tagaki the first time, it was pretty much empty. I walked into the some little store. Finally, the storekeeper came out, and I mentioned that we were visiting, and want some cheese from him, and that was it. Then I made arrangements with somebody on a boat going over to Zakynthos for a week stay or even a month stay in Tragaki, Zakynthos. And when we were there, they had a party for us. So we had a good time, enjoyed our stay there. We stayed a week at least in Zakynthos. We had to leave early because we had two of my daughter's friends visit us, so we had to take care of them. And so we couldn't bear the expense of 8 people at the resort. So anyway, that was all right. Tragaiki, for those of you that can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
For Tragaiki, as you know, means little goat. Tragos is a male goat. Kachika is a female goat. And Tragaiki is a baby goat. No. Uh, uh, oh, one other thing I wanted to mention in my growing up years, my mom and dad, after they moved out of the La Posada, the Stab House, they rented a little apartment on the corner, on the southeast corner of Guadalupe and San Francisco Street, where the Hilton Hotel is now.
No kidding.
Wow.
And that was, my mother years later told me that there was a lot of problems because those places used to be whorehouses. And she said people would come knocking on the door wanting to come in. And
I remember a Greek man lived there. His name was Tom Longus. Do you remember Tom Longus?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
He lived in those apartments.
yeah.
I think the windows were painted green.
Yeah. So it anyway, that's when they moved to College Street, I think a year later. So I just remember just a little bit. I must have been at least maybe 2.5 years old
Wow.
when I remember some scenes from that old house. So anyway, that was there was a lot. There was a lot. I love my hometown. I really do. I miss it dearly. I always have. But when you're in a profession such as I was in, you go where the work is.
Yeah.
You know, that's sometimes in some very odd places, like spent the final 35 years in Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah.
I don't miss the winter one single bit.
We have this meeting room reserved until 11:30.
Okay.
So, George, this was absolutely amazing. We really appreciate your time that you've spent with us, and Peter, the photos and videos that you've sent are just amazing. Maria, any closing words?
No, I just want to thank everybody who participated in this. Of course, George, who we are honoring, and then Peter, who is in Greece right now. I was curious.
Well, it was such a pleasure to surprise George like this. George, I wish you could be here with me, but I know you're here in spirit and in my heart, and I wish I could see your face because, wow.
Peter,
thank
I
you.
was curious. Is that water behind you?
Yeah, that's the ocean. That's the ocean right there.
I was wondering if you turned your camera landscape as opposed to portrait, on the side. There you go.
Wow. Nice.
Well, that makes sense.
I'll tell you what, I've got some photographs of Zakynthos that I can send you. I'll post it on my website on Facebook.
Okay.
All right.
And
I love all of you people. You've been kind to me. Especially for somebody that was only in Santa Fe for 18 years. So it's sad.
So what's going to happen now is this has been recorded, and once it's completed its recording thing, it takes an hour or two. Then I'll upload the video to YouTube, and then at some point, probably in the next few days, we'll come along and post a link to this entire video on our Voces de Santa Fe Facebook page. So it has the potential of being seen by 2,600 people.
Okay.
And if Peter wants to take more pictures while he's there, we'll also post those. Look at that.
I sure.
Fantastic. Fantastic, Peter.
You know what?
You can see the people swimming.
Sorry.
Wow.
Incredible.
I'm sorry that I'm not able to get down anymore. I'm 92 years old and I use a walker. We live in assisted living and I don't drive anymore. So I think my traveling days are about over. Anyway, I will remain in contact with you through Voces.
Sounds
And
good.
I appreciate
Thank you, George. Thank you,
your
George.
interest.
Thank you,
Yes.
Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Yes.
sharing your life with us, George.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Love you all.
Levendi, Mr. Levendi.
Isa Levendi. Isa
Isis Lisa Levendi, Yorgo.
You know,
We love you, Sagapame.
I've lost my Greek. I've lost my Greek. There's nobody to talk to.
Bye, all.
All right.
Bye all.
Thanks, George.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Peter.
Adios.
It was great.
Bye.
Yasas. Yasu, adios.
Yes, adios.